Hello, brothers and sisters and Heartdwellers family. May you all be blessed. I was in the pasture praying, and the Lord played one of his particular songs, and I knew that he wanted to speak to me. I went to Bible promises, and I kept getting laziness, though. Then I discerned that he was saying I was being lazy in prayer, which is very true, that day especially. I was feeling so tired physically and so dry during my prayers and the Lord's Supper. I have now come to ask my guardian angel Zil to please pray for me and with me daily. I always ask him to pray, covering those prayers and things I miss. And today I was really leaning on him to pray my prayers for me altogether. So I prayed my few prayers, but if I can be honest, half-heartedly, and not with much meaning, hoping Zil's fervent and powerful prayers would cover my lack. But the Lord didn't allow me that slack today. So I thought he wanted me to go back in prayer. However, he prompted me that he actually wanted to talk with me. So I came before him saying, Lord, I'm here. Your spouse is listening. Jesus, what's on your heart? I'm here, beloved. Let's work out the issue of your heart so that you may hear me clearly. As an aside here, guys, Jesus is so good because I was struggling internally with an incident that happened the day before, where one of the sisters made it known that I was a source of irritation for her during our time of fellowship before everyone. She said that I don't listen to her, so she didn't see why she had to listen to me. I smiled and apologized for the instances she brought up that I wasn't agreeable to what she asked, or where she felt her opinion was disregarded. I shrugged it off at the moment, but found myself brooding about it the whole day, and even that morning, realizing the soul still had some struggles with being led. And another soul has a strong attachment to food and gets upset often if she's asked to sacrifice what she wants to eat. I was just frustrated. The Lord being so sweet, he knew this was consuming my heart. He wanted to clear the air to give me peace of mind so that I wouldn't get in the way of hearing the concerns of his heart. He's always so gracious to help me with the issues of my heart first, before we begin talking about his subject matter many times. He is truly so meek and humble. Jesus continued, I know you have your concerns with these precious little ones, but do not worry. In time, all the kinks will be worked out. This particular soul has grown leaps and bounds, really. Although they do not see it, they are climbing the mountain beautifully. And each effort is a sweet rose of incense to me. Although they fall many times, I am pleased with their efforts. She will also learn that she was sent here not to be listened to, but to listen. In time she will get it and yield. And right now I am bending her will to mine, and she is yielding. Continue to love, instruct, and teach them more by example of how to walk in virtue and how to truly love and let go of self-love. You humbling yourself to receive criticism speaks volumes to the others, so they too will be more humble to receive criticism and correction from others, even those inferior to them, and humbly accept it all without defense or with offense taken. And what he said reminded me of a rhema he's given me several times on heroic humility, which I ask the Lord each morning to cloak me with, but I still fall short every time. And it's from Saint Therese, as she says, the novices to whom she gave spiritual direction praise me. It is not flattery. They believe what they say. It does not make me vain, for the knowledge of my wretchedness never leaves me. But sometimes my soul sickens of too sweet of a diet. It is then that Jesus gives me a nice little salad, dressing of vinegar and spice and sans olive oil. God raises the veil which hides my imperfections, and my dear little sisters then no longer find me quite to their liking. With simplicity I find charming. They tell me what a trial I am to them, and what they find unpleasant about me. They stand on no ceremony, for they know that their freedom of speech delights me. Once, when I was passionately longing to be humiliated, a young postulant did it so effectively that I remembered when Shimei cursed David, and I repeated the words of the Holy King. Yeah, it is the Lord who hath bidden him to say all these things. My goodness, as I recognize this was all permitted by the Lord to truly humble me, and would happen again until I found delight in my humiliations rather than taking offense. Lord, help me. Jesus continued, I'm purifying the love you all have for one another down there, and as the trials and tests come, you will be purified in turn, that your love for one another may be that of mine, divinely inspired, patient, making no record of wrong, meek, humble, and selfless. You are all fighting valiantly, so do not give up or stop. Just then I heard another ambulance rushing past in town. There's been such an excess amount of sirens going off in this area. In one day I counted 8 times that the ambulance and sirens went through the town. That has now become an average. It's so abnormal because when I was down here a year ago, rarely did you ever hear the police or see them, or an ambulance for that matter. As I thought, this was a prophetic foreshadowing of the spiritual battle going on and the change in the atmosphere in our nation. Jesus, knowing my thoughts, responded, You have been concerned with the sirens and ambulances in your neighborhood going off at a more rapid and constant rate than usual. And you are right to think that this is the spiritual atmosphere of your nation. Violence is on the increase, as I already mentioned to you. Though not broadcasted, yet it will continue to increase. But I want my beloved brides' hearts and eyes fixed on me. My beloved ones, I know your heartache, the trial and heavy burdens you are now under, which can easily cause you to look at your circumstances and take your eyes off of me. But I long for your attention and affection. The enemy of your soul has many of you wrapped up in yourself, that you have begun to get lax with your prayers, lax in your relationship with me, and lose the light and love of your first love, when I am the source of your strength, your sustenance, and of your protection. When a soul is sick physically, the same thing happens. In your lethargy, exhaustion, and weariness, you no longer do the same things you used to do with the same fervency. And I do not want my brides following that pattern. Some have even been tempted to not meet me at all in Holy Communion, or stop your prayers as he lies to you that nothing has happened. It won't make a difference. Nothing has changed. Your prayers are useless. And oh, just rest a little. After all, you're not feeling well. Then he turned you on to other consolation and comforts and food, entertainment, or, for my intimate spouses, business and ministry, rather than being with me. Something to distract you from your trial. But I am the distraction that you need, and I love you to distraction. Don't get weary in well-doing, my beloved brides. In time, through patience and long-suffering, your reward will indeed come. Don't believe the enemy of your soul that desires to cut you off from the only life source, me, and the body and blood, and my love. Persevere, my beloved doves, and be diligent to seek my face, to be with me, to pray without ceasing, for your family, for your nation, for the world, and for lost souls. If I have not answered you yet, do not stop knocking at the door of my heart with your prayers, for the appointed time of your deliverance is coming. I know that every time you pray and are with me, torrents of graces are released for so many souls. Your unanswered prayer becomes an act of grace for another soul. You see, I waste nothing. Trust me and come. Ask for the grace of a fervent spirit. Ask me to blow on the embers of your heart that have become cold. Ask me to put logs of grace upon the smoldering pit where the fire of your love for me used to be. Ask me these things, and I will answer. And that was the end of Jesus' message. What a word of encouragement from Jesus. He knows many of us have been struggling to really connect with him and feeling much dryness and weariness in prayer. But it's the enemy of our soul that wants us to stop praying, stop coming, and give in to how we feel versus what we know we must do. Because if we give in to our feelings, it will cause many of us to grow cold, then eventually lukewarm, which can in turn cause you to lose your salvation. Lukewarmness is so subtle, It causes you to continue going through the motions of doing things that seem pious, when in reality your heart is far from the Lord. We thank the Lord for speaking his words of life and love to blow on our embers to start a flame that burns only for him. Then I pulled a rainbow card and it said, "Hide yourself in my wounds, in my right foot." The wounds in my right foot are a refuge from sin of inconsistency. Take refuge there when you're tempted to be inconsistent and when you waver in your resolution to love me above all things and to place me first in your affections and in your desire. Let's persevere through all of this, family. We are in this together. Love you guys. God bless you to the next message.